From the College by the Lake, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Local, regional, national, and international guests discussing the issues and topics affecting the way you live are on Forum, the North Idaho College Public Forum, with your host and moderator, political scientist Tony Stewart.
Welcome to today's program. We're so pleased to have some members of what is called the Diversity Dance Workshop, which is headquartered in Seattle, Washington. This is a very special group, and we have received material on them and also some video, and I think you're going to really enjoy today's program. They are under the auspices of the Ethnic Heritage Council of Seattle. These are young people who are in college and they take time off to tour and dance, and their message is one of dealing with equality and also talking about the problems of racism in their dance and music, and also a message against drugs. We're very pleased that three of the members of the company, the dance company, are with us today, and thank you for coming. And while you're here in North Idaho in Spokane, I know you have a very, very busy schedule, and you were very kind to take time out to do this. First of all, welcome to the program. To my far left is Rolling Walker, and we're very happy to have you here.
Thank you.
And next to her is Romer Jamal, and thank you for coming. We're very pleased that you're here. And then Shagana Tila Yasha, we're very happy to have you here. And I know you're from different states and different countries, and welcome to our program. I'm going to start with some questions concerning how you personally got involved. And we'll start over here and go across the way and let you start with this Rolling. How long have you been with the dance company, and what motivated you to do this?
I've been with the dance company since the beginning of September, and I'm a student of the University of Washington in Seattle. And I was sitting in the financial aid office, actually, and the coordinator of the program was sitting behind me and started talking to me about the group that she was running and asked me if I was interested in watching them perform. And this was last spring, so I went to see them perform and was very moved by the messages performed and wanted to be a part of it. So.
Let's give some credit to the co-founders and directors. Tell us something about those special individuals who head up this group.
I don't know a lot about them. I've only met a few of them, and one of them, Anna Powers, who lives in Bellevue, Washington, is in charge of organizing the different performances that we have and talking to the schools and the different cities and towns for the local performances. But there's lots of people involved and people choreographing the dances, and
sure.
So.
It always takes a large support system for something like this.
Yeah.
We'll move on to Romer, and you tell us where you're from and how you got involved.
I'm from Penticton, British Columbia, and I've been dancing in a workshop since June. And we went to a Germany tour, and a choreographer, Anna Powers, asked me to go to Germany for a tour. Basically, I was dancing a long time ago, and I was dancing in the same messages in Canada. I created my own dance troupe there. And basically, a group of Maxwell students went over to our town and starts performing. And then I really liked the way they perform and their messages. And the most interesting is that we have the same song and the same messages. And also, like, we have, to stop racism, to have equality in humankind. And basically, they invite us to go to Maxwell to perform. So we decided to say yes, and then we went to Victoria Island to perform there in Maxwell International School. And one of the girl, her name is her daughter. Actually, her daughter is Laura Lee, and she's the one who choreographs all the dances. And she's the one who asked me if I would like to join the Diversity Dance Workshop for the summer, and I basically said yes, and I'm very happy that I'm here.
Well, we are too. It's a very, very powerful message. Shagona, you can tell us also about your background and why you joined.
Okay, originally I'm from a village of 500 called Aniak in Alaska. I attended Maxwell International High School for 3 years, and at that school, which the core group of dances that we perform came from that school, and last year's core group of dancers came from that school as well as Maxwell graduates, and I was part of the last year's troupe, so I've been part of this program for a year. I was also able to go to Germany and Switzerland with Romer and Shahab and the rest of the group, and I got involved in the workshop when I was at Maxwell, and I'm hoping to continue when I go to Alaska to hope to try to make another another workshop or something along the same lines, is using the performing arts as a tool to bring a message and possibly a thought of healing and hope.
Certainly from all the literature I've seen and the video I've seen, that's certainly very much focused within that message. And so you're one of the older members of the group as far as experience is concerned.
Yes.
Any of you can deal with this, but we've done 2 or 3 programs recently dealing with music, and we've had some very professional people that tour the United States. And on a program recently that we did, a member of that group indicated that she thought that music was one of the most powerful mediums that we have to send a message of unity among people around the world, and that it crosses all kind of barriers. And in your case, you're of course using both music and dance. What is in that medium that is so effective that sometimes we lose in our languages and in our attempt to communicate through verbal messages or language?
Well, when we speak and when we talk to one another, we address one another perhaps more at our intellect. And I feel that with this dance group, when we use music and performing arts, it presents the issues in a way that is non-attacking and in a way that deals with the feelings. So when we went to Germany, we didn't speak German. The music wasn't in German, but the feelings and the message got across clearly. And that's why we use this medium. That's why it's most powerful, is because it's addressing it on a level of feeling and not on a level of intellect or logic, perhaps.
Yeah, I hear from what you're saying that all of us have an inner part that has to do with an appreciation of dance and music and all that, and the language just disappears. That you go past that. How the other 2 of you feel about the experience you've had and the places you've been, of how you communicate directly with people and the message that you have in your dance?
I think I agree with Shigoni in that by using the music and the dance, we're not talking about intellect. And when you think about issues about racism and equality of men and women and the drug and alcohol abuse, those aren't things that we actually sit around thinking about, how can I be racist or how can I oppress this person. It's something that happens out of fear, out of ignorance, and it's something that you feel. It's not something that you, I don't know, that you talk about, or I don't know how to really explain it, but I think that Shigoni was correct and that we do really reach a lot of people deeper and at a higher level through the music and through the dancing, because they can feel it. We're not telling them don't do this or do this. We're just giving them an experience. We're showing them a feeling, and they can take that however they want to.
Yeah, basically, I agree with them because dancing is a universal language in the world, and that's the best thing to reach out messages. And basically, the youth are sick of tired probably hearing about talking about messages, and they want to see something different. And this is a different for them. And if they see this, wow, they have the same basic idea that I'm going through in my life. So and like Rolling said, that we're not trying to tell them that to stop drugs, but we're just telling them that drugs is bad for you, that it's going to ruin your life in the future.
You're a little bit like parents in the sense that you can share your information, and people have to take some responsibility for themselves. I think that because of your age, you're just at a perfect age to do this kind of thing, not only from a physical viewpoint of the great dancing and the energy you have, but you bridge the gap both ways, both for younger people and older generations. Parents can identify with your grandparents, so I think that's wonderful. I'm going to take a break here to show some raw footage that we have that our staff has put together that you gave us, and we know that this is raw footage, but it's just such a beautiful way for our viewers to see how you dance, and so many of them will not be at your performances here in North Idaho. And once that's finished, we'll come back and talk about the specific dances. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we shall show the diversity dance workshop in action.
We're
gentlemen, I know that you found that very, very exciting, and you can see the talent that these young people have and the energy, and they have a very, very important message that they are sharing with audiences, not only now in the United States, but even in Europe. Thank you for bringing that video and letting us see it. What I'd like to do now is to walk through these dances and the kind of things you do with each one and the message that you're getting across. I've been very fortunate to have given to me the classroom discussion guide that comes with each of these dances, and I've looked at those. And I want to start with the one called the Equality Dance. And I know you've decided between yourselves who is going to deal with each one. Let me just read a sentence from the Equality Dance, or the basic theme, which says the importance of recognizing the equality of men and women, and that the development of both is essential to the advancement of society. I think that's an excellent basic theme. Who wants to share this particular dance information with us on this one?
I can go ahead and do that. The Equality Dance is one of our first dances that we do in our program, and it brings up the issue of equality between men and women. And what the dance consists of is a woman and a man, and the man is dancing at first and ignoring the woman, pushing her down with different body symbols that we use, different body language things that we do within the song. And then finally she stands up and says, no, I want to be heard, I want to be seen, and begins to dance on her own. And then the two start to dance together, and at that point we'd like to state that the dance is the most beautiful when the two people are coming together and working together. And one of the founding principles of our group is the equality of men and women, and that we believe all of these issues that we're working so hard to change can't really even begin to happen unless we have those small things like the equality of human beings, and regardless of their sex.
Certainly lots happened in this country in the last 20 or 30 years. Of course, one of those landmark times is 1920, when the Constitution was changed and women got the right to vote. But in some other societies it's been much slower even than here. As you dance this dance, and you have done that in numbers of places, what is your perception of the progress in dealing with the gender of equality between women and men?
Because of the dance, or?
Yes, the dance, and how that is. I would assume that the dance causes dialogue with some of the people where you are, and you receive some stories about what you consider is happening.
Occasionally it does. I actually haven't personally had very many conversations with people about that dance. Shigoni, I don't know if you've been doing that dance longer, maybe.
Well, the issue of equality of men and women is a deeper issue other than attaining status, as far as what we consider equal status, and what is considered now, particularly in Western society, as equal status is a woman being able to do the business, run the family, and basically assume all of the responsibilities and enter in this world in a competition manner. And men and women are different. Men and women are different, and these are good, and they need to complement one another rather than compete with one another. And this is the issue, that taking it. I'm going to a lot of high schools, and the issue is, the way in sports particularly, or the way the girls have been treated by the guys, and whether or not they need to learn. Women need to learn how to stand up, and how to reteach, and not in a competitive manner, but to reteach in a peaceful manner. And the men needing to learn that it takes efforts on both sides. So the discussions that we have are ones of trying to find a resolution to being able to overcome the kinds of prejudices that we have put upon us as women and men.
In October 1993, there was an International Human Rights Conference held here in Coeur d'Alene, and it had to do with partnership between men and women. So I hear in your comments that rather than competition, it's joining in all aspects of life and partnership. Is that a very good word to use in explaining what this dance is all about?
It would be complementing. We like to use the analogy that the men and women are like the two wings of a bird in humanity, and that if one wing were to be weak, the bird cannot fly. And until the wing of women becomes strong, then the world of humanity cannot progress as far as it has the potential to do so.
Thank you. It's a really good analogy. It certainly fits partnership too. It takes both. The second dance that you do is called the racism dance. Again, from the literature, see here that the theme is that racism is taught to children by parents and other adults we are not born racist. And certainly that is a very correct statement. Who's going to share that particular dance with us and what it's about?
I can go ahead and do that again. That statement is true as well, just that in the dance, there's two kids playing together and they're having a wonderful time and they're really enjoying themselves, and then the parents come out, and based on just either not knowing about the other family or ignorance and fear, they start to put hatred and anger towards the other family. And in the dance, we show how this really scares the kids at first. They don't really know what to do with it, but they imitate their parents when they're not with their parents again. And instead of going from what they feel is right, which is to be with all races and all people, they take that anger and kind of start to put it towards each other again. At the end of the dance, there's a little segment where there's a scene where someone has shot some children on a playground, and at this time, everybody kind of falls to the ground. And the two kids come running together to kind of save each other and to be together, and the parents see this and notice that their kids are safe and realize that they need to overlook their prejudices and their fears and come together and understand each other and work together, that in order to save their children and their race and all of humanity, that they need to stop being racist.
I also hear in your message that if no adults ever taught such a position, that we would not have the problem of racism.
I think that's really true, because even in my own experience, I grew up in a small town and was a minority, and when I encountered racism, it wasn't because these people just were born with this knowledge that they should not like me or that they didn't know what to do with me. It was because they were taught that by their parents or their friends or a movie, a book, anything. It's out there and it's very blatant, and we're told that that's right, that that's correct. And it's time for the people that are experiencing this racism, the people that are on the position to actually go, and we could be the next generation to be racist, and it's our time to say that we're not going to do that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. The third dance is called Black and White Dance, and again, I'll read the theme. It is: prejudice of all kinds can only cause division and the ultimate downfall of society, while the light of unity can illuminate the whole world. Who's dealing with this dance, Romer?
Yes, I will. This dance deals with prejudice, and although the dancers in this dance are wearing black and white, and but black and white is not the issue, because prejudice is sometimes about your race, your religion, your color, or sometimes some stupid stuff like how you dress. Because one time, I remember walking down the streets, people were laughing at me, and I was thinking, what? And then I went up to this, why are you laughing at me? And then they told me that you dress funny, you wearing baggy pants, and I felt like, and I was very angry to these people, and in my mind I just want to fight them, but I know that it's a bait, because prejudice can lead into violence, like in the analogy, and halfway through the dance, there's two people wearing opposite colors, one black and one white, and these people, actually we call them the unifiers, and these people represents that gives us hope that we can change this world, so we can live in a better place.
Yeah, and again here you're using dance and music to make that point very, very clearly. Something else you did that I find really interesting and very much of great merit. So many times when you're confused about why someone is behaving as they are towards you, I think that was really very, very intelligent to ask, to try to find out what's causing someone to behave that way. You confronted it, and therefore...
Yeah, and that takes a lot of courage to someone, and and you wouldn't expect what they're gonna do to you, and sometimes it's a bad idea to do that. It's the best thing to do, I guess, to work on prejudice, and so we can live in a better place, like I said.
It takes a lot more courage to move in that direction. It takes less courage for people who refuse to face something or return to violence. Oftentimes it takes lots of courage just to walk away too, doesn't it?
Definitely.
The fourth dance is entitled Multicultural Dance, and again the theme is that we belong to the family of man. Life and people are full of variety, which makes them interesting and exciting. Every culture of mankind has its music and dance. Each is different. The tone, the instruments, the costumes, but each is an expression of their inner feelings of humankind. Who's dealing with this dance?
The multicultural dance is the overlying theme of our, we'll call the Diversity Dance Workshop, and we're trying to promote celebration of diversity, not, you know, unity in uniformity, but unity in diversity, and recognizing that, you know, our differences are wonderful and our similarities are much greater than our differences, and that what we have to offer as people, as individuals, as cultures to one another will far advance our society than the separation that we're creating with one another now. And to give an example, we're a group of 8 people in this dance group, and we're traveling around in a blue van. And we come from all different backgrounds. I come from a village of 500, some people come from cities of 1 million, and people come from different countries. And these are different cultures and different societies that we're used to growing up in. And coming together with the same theme, with our focus being on trying to promote the oneness of humanity. This is our focus, and this is where we spend our energy. However, we do have a lot of differences, and these are the things that we need to work through to get to learn about each other, to be able to, you know, make our performance better. And it's the theme of our workshop, Unity and Diversity, to say that each one of us needs to take the responsibility to take the first step to learn about somebody else who's different. When I've gone into high schools and talked to, you know, 2 groups who separate themselves, I talk to one group and I ask them, would you go and talk to this group of people? And they would say no. And I'd say, but would it be cool, you know, would it be okay if they came and talked to you? And they're like, yeah, of course. And I went to the other group of people and I'd say, would it be cool if they came, would you go talk to them? They'd say no. And I'd say, well, it would be cool if they came and talked to you. Yes. So what needs to be encouraged now and what needs to be empowered for the youth to do is to take an individual initiative to be able to find out about our differences, to be able to celebrate our differences, to overcome the barriers that we separate ourselves with, the barriers of our race, the barriers of the kind of music we like to listen to, the barriers of whatever we choose to differentiate ourselves with. And the theme of it is that, you know, the rewards are going to be a lot greater. And the theme is if we asked everybody in this world, would they want peace, would they want love, or would they want war, would they want hate? You know, the pursuit of everyone in this life is to be happy. And that is what we need to remember, down to the base, you know, base ideas, that's what everyone wants to be happy. Nobody wants to be angry. Nobody wants to be sad. And to remember that as far as humans, as far as youth, to be able to take that first step as far as, you know, overcoming our differences.
You used a really key important word. I know in the human rights movement, they used to talk a lot about tolerating our differences. Now there's a much more clear advancement in the whole process of celebrating the differences. Right. There's a fundamental difference between those 2 words.
We can also explain the shirts. Go ahead,
you want to explain the shirt?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, fine. Well, our shirts here, there are 4 hands, and they're holding the world. They're 4 hands representing the 4 races of humanity from the 4 corners of the earth. And the top hand is holding an olive branch, which is a symbol of peace throughout history for over 6,000 years. And what the symbol is that until the hands come together as a human race rather than separate races, we can only hold up the world for so long. Right now we're separated by war, right now we're separated by disease, right now we're separated by prejudice, and until we can come together, then we have no chance for survival.
There's one 5th dance, and we're running short on time, but we have plenty of time to do this one. The 5th dance is called the Dance of Betrayal, the drug dance, and your theme says the dance itself demonstrates the various stages of drug abuse and the difficulty of overcoming addiction. Who shares that one with us?
It's me. The way the dance is presented, I feel, truly shows that, and it shows in a way how it is that a youth or anybody who is in that stage of finding themselves, or who's lonely, who's trying to find the answers, and who finds out we're in such a quick fix society in America that we need a quick fix now. We need to feel better now. We need to come to solving these problems now. And the pressure comes from her schoolwork. She's not doing well in school. The pressure comes from her boyfriend, who's not treating her nice but pressuring her into drugs, and her friend who isn't approving of a lot of the relationship that she's in, and arguing with her family, things that teenagers go through all the time. And the dance, you know, particularly just shows how it is in the beginning, perhaps, where we believe that, you know, doing drugs solves our problems, that it makes us happy, we feel good. And initially that's what happens. We believe that that's what's happening. We believe that our problems are solved. But in all truth, and as everybody knows, it isn't truly what happens. It's why the dance of betrayal, becoming betrayed by the drugs, becoming controlled by the drugs, losing control of yourself, losing control of your relationships. And in the end, it has a positive theme, knowing that every person has enough inner strength within themselves to be able to overcome an addiction if they choose to do so. And it ends up she overcomes the addiction to be able to come back together with her family, to become herself. But it takes that much of a struggle and that much pain that she had to go through to be able to realize that, you know, she has the ability to be able to overcome the problems. And that today in the world, drugs and alcohol are probably one of the biggest problems that youth have today, and that we have to face. And we need reasons why we shouldn't do them. We need reasons why, you know, we need to do something more positive. We need reasons why we shouldn't waste our brains on drugs and alcohol, why we shouldn't, you know, lose all of our pride, lose our dignity. We as youth need to reattain our dignity, reattain our respect, reattain our control. And drugs is one of the things that takes it away quicker than anything else.
On that note, I have to bring the program to conclusion. You have been most eloquent, all of you, in discussing your music and dance and this very powerful message you have about unity and equality, and urging young people not to be involved with things like drugs. And if we can create the kind of world you're talking about, then those kind of crutches will just disappear. Again, thank you very much for being with us. You were kind to come and give us this time. Ladies and gentlemen, our guests have been members of the Company of Diversity Dance Workshop. I am sure you've been inspired by these young people and what they've had to say, and I would like to invite you to be with us again next week at this same time, when we shall discuss what we believe to be a significant issue. Until then, please have a good week. I am Tony Stewart.
The North Idaho College Public Forum was videotaped live from the studios of Instructional Technology on the campus of North Idaho College for viewing at this more appropriate time. We invite you to join us again next week for another all-new edition of the North Idaho College Public Forum on this public television station.